Have you ever played NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup in the Busch Series and wondered who the heck is Billy Parker? That was me when I first got this game a few years ago. And sure, when you look up his stats on Racing Reference, it will show that he didn't do well in the Duraflame 66 for Rusty Wallace in 2004. But he happens to be the little brother of Hank Parker Jr., a retired driver nobody ever talks about really, as there has never been a YouTube video made about him until now. While being the son of two-time Bassmaster Classic winner Hank Parker, he had a dream of being a race car driver as he began his racing career racing go-karts before transitioning to street stocks after buying a car from best friend Dale Earnhardt Jr. After a few years of racing street stocks, he would move up to the Slim Jim All-Pro Series in 1996, where he would pick up his first win and close out the season with 1 win, 1 top 5, 6 top 10s, a pole, and an average finish of 17.3 and would finish 13th in points despite missing 3 races. The following year, in 1997, he would compete in all 20 races, winning 2, with one of them being the season finale at Homestead, which would end up being his final win in the series. He would close out 1997 with 2 wins, 6 top 5s, 11 top 10s, 2 poles, and an average finish of 11.6 and would finish 4th in points, and win Most Popular Driver. He would make his Busch Series debut at the season finale at Homestead, driving the 78 Chevy for team owner Dan Broder, where he would start 41st and finish 23rd, 2 laps down. He attempted to run full-time for Broder in 1998, but with DNQ mostly before being released, as the only races he made were Rockingham, where he started 19th but finished 38th due to engine trouble, and Darlington, where he would start 25th and finish 28th. His highlight would be him getting a little loose after Dale Jr. hit him. He wouldn't return until months later for the fall Rockingham race, driving for his father's team in the 53 Chevy sponsored by Bassmaster, where he would finish 6th. He would finally race full-time in 1999. Despite competing in 27 of the 32 races due to failing to qualify 5 times, he would score 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and an average finish of 23.1 and finish 18th in the point standings. His highlight would be a then career best 3rd place finish at South Boston.
Can't make it stick.
3 to go.
Remember, if something happens to the front 2, Hank Parker Jr. is next, and he is in 3rd. The 53, he could be the wild card here.
I believe he's the quickest car. He just doesn't, I don't think he's going to have enough time, but what a great race that young man has running.
2 to go.
After not winning a race all season, Earnhardt Jr. trying to make it 2 in as many weeks.
White flag.
4/10 of a mile to go. Don't know if Jeff Green has anything for him.
I don't think he does right now.
But he's going to make one more shot at it.
He's trying to get the nose under him. Wow, what a great drive he made, but he just
gave it an effort. Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins. And you've got Grubb spinning. You have Tom Hubert spinning. But the win goes to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
During the same season, the September Dover race would end up being the last race with the Bassmaster sponsorship, as they will scale back to being an associate sponsor, with the United States Marine Corps taking over, starting at the fall Charlotte race before being the primary sponsor of 2000. So how well does he improve?
Caution, problems. 2 cars tangling off the corner. The 53 Hank Parker Jr.
So Kyle Petty in the 45 getting through there.
That's Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 26 also involved.
What kind of shape we in here?
For the 2nd time, there you see Hank Parker Jr.
Boy, that's tough luck. He lost 2 cars in Charlotte and wrecked there last week, and now this car is really wiped out.
All jokes aside, 2000 was definitely the starting peak for Hank. While his top 10s would improve to 8, as he had 2 top 5s like last year and had 8 DNS compared to 6 last year, he would score his first pole in Las Vegas and finish 31st, and by the end of the year, he has career best points finish of 14th. His peak would continue into 2001. The family team would shut down at the end of last season, as he would move over to CC Welliver to drive the 36 Chevy sponsored by GNC Livewell. And while he would finish 15th in points with 2 less top 10s compared to last season, 17s, and mid-pack runs early that season, like this resulting in a 21st place finish at Bristol after a crash.
Pulls to the inside of Jimmy Spencer down the back. Hard to make that pass. With trouble, turn 1. 11 cars are piled up in the first corner. And our champion's up in the middle of them. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Mike McLaughlin is there, Shane Hall, Jeff Green, Mike Dillon, Kevin Grubb, and the 36 of Hank Parker. Green's car is wiped out.
I saw 2 of our top 5 in points in that wreck. Of course, Jeff Green, who's leading the points of the 20 car of Mike McLaughlin.
But it would all come together on this day 25 years ago in his 73rd career Busch Series start in the Auto Club 300.
Well, it'll be checker or wrecker. Either tow him home or go to victory lane.
If that thing will suck up with just enough fuel to get one more lap out of everybody.
Last lap.
Come on. Draft.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
Easy.
Space. Lead a second set to finish now.
A 5.6 second lead.
Caution.
Not enough for Parker to coast home from here.
No, but if he can get down this back straightaway a little bit further.
Nobody would have bet this is possible.
There's the 18 right there, the MBNA car coming off turn 2. A lot of distance.
I wouldn't have bet it, but I was worried.
This race, guys.
We're going to win it. You sure are, young man.
Doing great call.
Now he can coast home and win it.
What a call.
He would finally get his first win in his 73rd career start, as mentioned, after starting 26th, and all by fuel mileage. 2002 would be the best season for Hank, as Frank Cece and Scott Welver would part ways, as Wayne Jessel of Jessel Valvetrain would become a new partner for Scott before buying the team later in the season. One of these changes to start 2002 was a manufacturer's switch from Chevrolet to Dodge and a new scheme for GNC. So would he get career win number 2?
White flag, 1 more mile for Hank Parker Jr. Win number 2 is on the line if he's got enough fuel to make it around the final 3/4 of a mile from there.
Gas man took the helmet off. He's not going to worry about putting any more gasoline in that car.
He can't help him now. Wayne Jessel, having bought this team from its former owners, Frank Cece and Scott Welliver, looking for his first Busch Series win as a team owner. Final corner for Parker Jr. The fans come to their feet. The fuel will hold up, and Hank Parker Jr. gets victory number 2 at Pikes Peak. 114 miles on a tank of fuel.
He would get another fuel mileage win, this time at Pikes Peak. Despite having 9 DNFs throughout the year, he would end 2002 with 1 win, 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and an average finish of 20.3 and finished 14th in points, just like he did 2 years prior. But this would not be the only highlight of the year. The second would come at the 34th race of the year in the Winston Cup Series at Rockingham.
Bud Pole qualifying at Rockingham on TNT this Friday. Finally not raining on a Friday. This is a 3rd Ray Evernham Motorsports entry for Hank Parker Jr.
And Hank Parker was 22nd in practice this morning. A time to, well, get him in the field. Let's see if he can duplicate 24:07, his best speed in practice.
He looked loose, Benny. He looked loose coming to the green and through 1 and 2. Hank had been doing some testing for Dodge in the NASCAR Busch Series. Of course, his Busch Series team runs Dodge. Not factory effort, but because he's done some of that testing, this is kind of a payback for Hank. He gets to drive the Evernham Winston Cup car here at Rockingham. 3rd fastest out of 4 on his first lap. Let's try it again on lap 2. And a little bit faster on his 2nd lap.
Did it do anything for your future hopes in 2003?
He got to make his Winston Cup debut for Ray Evernham, and it'll also be the only Cup race he ever ran. As mentioned by then NBC commentator Alan Bestwick, it was a payback for Hank for testing for Dodge in the Busch Series, so he gets to drive the Evernham 91 R&D car. He would start 25th next to eventual race winner Johnny Benson and finish 33rd 4 laps down. Fun fact, in this image that's from the teaser trailer of NASCAR Thunder 2003, he was supposed to be in the game as one of the Busch Series drivers, but was cut from the game. However, there is still audio clips to prove he was supposed to be in it. Props to Grand Prix for finding these and sharing.
Hank Parker Jr.
Hank Parker Jr.
The GNC Live Well Dodge.
The GNC Live Well Dodge.
Now, some people already know this, but others definitely do not or might not. If they ever wonder who's the only Dodge Busch Series driver in NASCAR Thunder 2003, that goes to Brian Vickers out of all people. Seriously, why is he in this game? Everything would start going downhill for Hank starting in 2003. Because on November 12th, just a few days before the Busch Series finale at Homestead, where he finished second to race winner Scott Wimmer, Hank would tell NASCAR.com that GNC had sent a letter to the team announcing that they were leaving the team and NASCAR due to a restriction on supplements, NASCAR added. While his teammate Casey Mears, who drove the Phillips 66 Dodge, would move up to the Cup Series to drive the 41 Target Dodge for Chip Ganassi, Hank would be left out of a ride for 2003. There was talks of him possibly either joining Roush or PPC Racing in the Busch Series, but also talks of him possibly driving Winston Cup, possibly joining Casey Mears as a teammate still and racing for Chip Ganassi. But it has never been stated whether it was the 41 or the 42. So despite this, he was job hunting throughout 2003. He would start the year driving the 27 Pontiac Verbruco, sponsored by Trimspa, for 2 races, which were Rockingham, where he would start 38th and finish 30th after a crash with Jason Schuler, and Darlington, where he would finish 6th after starting 14th. He would get a ride for the CarQuest Auto Parts 300 at what was then Lowe's Motor Speedway, driving the number 8 Chevy for the newly changed to Motorsports owned by Dale Jr. and his stepmother Teresa, with Cheese Nips sponsoring the car for the race. Fun fact number 2, the car was supposed to be driven by Steve Park, but he was now driving the AOL 30 for Richard Childress starting at the Coca-Cola 600 on Sunday, so Hank drove the car instead. Which is why if you own a 164 or 124 scale diecast of this car, it's also technically a Hank Parker Jr. diecast. He would get a ride for the Trimspa 250 at Pikes Peak, driving the Nemco/Evans Motorsports 7 Kleenex Chevy, where he would finish 15th after starting 14th. He would return for Kansas as he would drive the 8 car for Chance 2 again, but this time with sponsorship from Dick's Sporting Goods. He would finish 5th after starting 12th, possibly due to this crash Bobby Hamilton Jr. had on the restart.
Okay, good start.
Hamilton Jr., David Green, Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, Jason Keller, the top 5. 1 lap to go at Kansas. Green to the inside. The Junior's in trouble. Into the wall in turn 1.
Oh, no.
He either missed a shift or ran out of gas.
They have not called for the caution. So they'll race back to the finish line because of where Hamilton Jr.'s car is. They're going to let him race back to the stripe. David Green is going to pick up the win.
It is, from what I understand, the rule is not supposed to happen that way. I'll be very interested to see how this plays out.
3rd win of 2003 for David Green, and they get the caution flag at the finish line.
His final Busch Series start of 2003 would come at Atlanta, where he would finish 5th after starting 8th. The best part about this is that he's the first driver to be sponsored by Bass Pro Shop, as they would sponsor the car for the race before being a full-time sponsor of the 8 in 2004 with Martin Truex Jr. While he competed in 6 Busch races throughout 2003, there was other things he was doing. Besides running part-time, he also ran 4 races in the Craftsman Truck Series, driving the 75 Spears Manufacturing Chevy Silverado for Spears Motorsports, filling in for an injured David Starr starting at Memphis. He would score 2 top 10s, which came at Milwaukee and Kentucky. He also did some commentating, specifically at Nazareth, Nashville 2, and Kentucky. Props to Grand Prix once again. What we have here from the files of NASCAR Thunder 2004 is a 8 Busch placeholder. Now, the only 8 Busch car in Thunder 04 is Dale Jr. However, I have a suspicion that Hank Jr. was supposed to be in this game as well, because the commentator saying his name from Thunder 03 was in the files once again. Now, sure, this is from a video where the name has been changed from Dale Jr. to Hank. There could be a chance it was supposed to be Hank Jr. or even Martin Truex Jr. He would get a full-time ride in the Truck Series in 2004, driving the 21 Toyota Tundra for Innovative Motorsports, where he would be teammates to Robert Huffman. He would have 3 DNFs throughout the year, with one of them being this notable at Atlanta.
What caution they get, they won't be able to make up what he gains on them.
Bobby Hamilton started the race, the 3rd lap, his fastest lap. So when he comes in, into the wall in turn 3,
it's Rick Crawford right there.
Golly. And a couple more front end off of that number 14.
A couple more trucks on the back.
Tina Gordon.
That's a bad crash.
13. Yeah. So our first caution comes out at lap 45. Rick Crawford sliding into the infield.
His throttle's hung. Throttle's hung.
He got into that crash with Tina Gordon and Rick Crawford. All 3 would be taken to the hospital with Gordon and Crawford in ambulance and Hank Jr. having to be airlifted as he got seriously hurt. But thankfully he would recover to return for the truck race at Martinsville. He would go on to finish the season with 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and an average finish of 18.2 and finish 17th in points. The season finale at Homestead would end up being his last career start in the Truck Series, as Innovative Motorsports would shut their doors at the end of the year. He would move on to being a mentor and backup driver for Carl Edwards at Roush Racing in 2005, while also doing some commentating in the Busch Series and Truck Series. His last NASCAR start would be at the second Nashville Superspeedway race, as he would drive the 60 Charter Ford due to a rain delay the day before, which resulted in Carl having to focus on the Cup race at Pocono. Hank would drive the car to a 20th-place finish after starting on the pole. He would be last seen in the NASCAR spotlight in 2006, commentating for the Meyer 300 at Kentucky Speedway with two former two-time Busch Series winners, Hermie Sadler and Phil Parsons. The race is remembered and known for David Gilliland, the father of current NASCAR Cup Series driver Todd Gilliland, winning in an upset over the Bushwhackers.
Looks like JJ's just gotten a little bit too tight behind him.
Guys, 1 lap to go. White flag for David Gilliland. Just hold that line there, David. He's got about a 3-4 car length lead right there.
A lot of people thought it'd be a long time before we see a Busch Series regular win another Busch Series race, but this is more important than that. A part-time guy with a rookie driver, this is absolutely incredible.
Guys like the New York Jets beating the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl #3. David has truly beat the Goliaths of NASCAR Busch Series racing. David Gilliland wins at Kentucky.
You think those guys are in shock or what?
After retiring from racing, he would star on Hank Parker 3D with his dad and little brother Billy before they will do their second show, Hank Parker Flesh and Blood. To conclude this video, I apologize if the audio is good or not, as I never thought about making this video until days ago I decided to make this. Now you probably got interested in Hank Parker Jr. because in 2020, Martin Truex Jr. did a throwback to Hank's 2003 Atlanta scheme, which started the resurgence of talks about Hank. And some people accidentally getting confused that this is a Truex throwback when it's not, technically. My interest in Hank Parker Jr. started when I bought that 1/64 scale diecast of his 2001 GMC car at an antique store. And my interest built up to a point that I became a fan of him that I got that 1/24 scale for Christmas that same year in 2023. In October of 2024, almost 2 years ago, I bought that 1/64 of his 2003 Bass Pro Shop car, and it's been my favorite diecast of all time on the shelf ever since. To conclude, I believe Hank had talent. He just never got that opportunity to drive for a big name team in the Busch Series like Roush or PPC. I feel like he could have been a champion in the Truck Series had he joined a more competitive team like a Germain or a Billy Ballou. We just have to imagine what if he had the opportunity to drive for a more competitive truck team? And how many championships or wins would he have? This has been NASCAR 2 Hit Wonder, Hank Parker Jr.